Come here, son, nephew, young man. Let me holler at you. Don't burn bridges. I know you may have heard that before, but then again, we're getting to the point where there are so many unreliable sources of information and so many men who are hyenas and not lions. You may not have heard that before. And I realize I'm going to have to do another video just calling for requests for videos so I can make sure I'm addressing my my audiences, because I think the demographic has lowered here on YouTube from like 18 to maybe 30, and then on TikTok it looks like it's varying. So I'm gonna make it where, or put up a post or video where if you want to have something addressed in particular, I'm more than happy to do that. But I want you to understand, and I guess I may have made some videos that seem like they're addressed to people in high school, but we're having different shifts in society where people are progressing in different timelines than when I was a kid. So I don't want to miss anybody who could benefit from information, because a lot of what I'm passing on is stuff I had to learn the hard way, because my dad died when I was 16 and I had to learn either by mistakes and errors or just basically going through situations and seeing that I could do things in a better way, or seeing things that worked and realize I need to repeat this. Now, a specific situation comes to mind as far as burning bridges. I recall observing over a period of time a situation where a particular coaching staff went so far above and beyond to help one of their players get, just make it in life, not just necessarily with football. But man, they did so much for this kid. And in return, the kid treated this staff and everybody who tried to help him like dirt, man. It's like, I guess he didn't realize that people don't owe you anything. These people are doing what they're doing out of the goodness of their heart. And we're talking about all types of stuff off the field. Donations. I'm trying not to get too specific, but, making sure the young man was physically, even mentally, aided to where he had everything he needed to not only do okay, but to flourish. And the guy had such a bad attitude and was so ungrateful and talked to the people who helped him. Even got the kid a college scholarship. And he wasn't the best player, but some coaches on the college level, they know how to envision what a kid can become and give him a chance. So this kid had every chance in the world. He was put in a situation in life that he didn't ask for, so he had some disadvantages. But now God done put everything in this young man's life to where you don't have any more excuses. You have nothing but opportunity and nothing stopping you. You can spread your wings and fly. And this kid just craps on everybody in his path. And by the time he left this particular situation, nobody wanted to deal with him at all. So wherever he's at, he's got to get it right, because he burned all of his bridges. He cannot cross those bridges back and go back to these people who were resources to him. That'll never happen. He burned these people too bad. He treated these people too bad. And the sad part of it, and I hope anybody listening learns to appreciate the opportunities in front of you and people who are taking time with you to teach you anything, to show you anything, and to give you opportunities. Even if you're not totally happy with the situation, you can find a way to peacefully withdraw. There's nothing wrong with saying, hey, I appreciate your help, but maybe this situation isn't for me. And sometimes you got to swallow your pride too. Now, see, I had a dad who taught me to just shut up and listen. And I'm going to put a link to my Shut Up and Listen video, the short and the long version here, because, see, when I was getting coached, I understood you don't know more football than the coach. This is my dad. You ain't there to tell the coach jack. You're there to be quiet, listen, learn, and say thank you, because he's teaching you sports, and then he's helping your dad to help you become a man. You appreciate that. Same goes for your teachers, mentors, the people you work for, because they could have hired somebody else now. Even if you got your own business, they could have done business with somebody else. So you find a way to gently and gracefully get out of situations, because let me tell you something, man. Most of the time when people find that it's time to leave a situation, maybe it's naturally just time to go, but sometimes it's just a misunderstanding and miscommunication. And if somebody would have just stopped and listened, if somebody would have waited to, that's going to be another video, if somebody would have waited to speak when they weren't angry, if somebody would have found different words to say, or if somebody would have just said, you know what, for the bigger picture and the greater good, I'm going to overlook this situation. See, business ain't about your feelings. Business is about business and achieving a goal. If you're walking away from every situation instead of walking down the path to a goal, eventually you're going to end up either zigzagging and never getting to the goal, or getting lost walking in circles. And it doesn't have to be that way. You got to learn how to work issues out and move on. But if you have to withdraw from a situation, time heals wounds. You can encounter people later in life and mend things. I'll give you one more example. In the organization that I do some borderline professional and political work with, a guy I was supposed to be confiding in decided to place his loyalty in a different situation, and I actually needed his help. Not needed. None of us men need help per se. We can make it without it, but it's doggone sure easier to get help. But okay, I really could have used the guy's help, and he turned his back on me and acted like he wasn't available when I had a serious situation going on. But you know what? Somebody turned their back on him and burnt him. And then once I knew that happened, I actually just said, hey, man, that wasn't cool how you weren't there when I needed you. But you know what? I know what you're going through, and I got your back. After that, that relationship was mended. And now I can get valuable information and insight. And I even extended that part of my network to somebody else who burned me trying to help a joker, and he went and did some dumb stuff with the opportunity given to him and the avenue for resources that I opened up to him. And that's how that can go sometime. So either way, just by me swallowing my pride, being patient, because I could have just blocked his number and said, look, I don't never need to speak to this joker again. But look, you never know who you might need later on in the future. So you don't have to put a permanent end to it. Just say, okay, I'll revisit that situation another time. Because whether or not you understand it or think it or know it yet, there's going to be another time. You'll see that person again. Two mountains will never meet, but two men will. And as always, never lose the will to win and never lose the will to survive.